I know. Did you know Ravenous? Where's the friggin' Ravenous? This is done for a specific purpose. 3-piece Walker Harris gives 5% weapon damage, 5% damage to armor, 5% damage to health. I'm also running Contractor's Gloves for another 8% damage to armor, and an AR for another 21% damage to health. In total, this is 13% damage to armor and 26% damage to health. Same attributes, they add together. 5 plus 8 is 13, 21 plus 6 is 26, 13 DTA, 26 DTH. Why are we doing this? Well, first of all, we need to ascertain exactly what is armor plating and what helps damaging to armor plating. So, focusing on the damage numbers I was hitting on armor here, there's a spreadsheet at the bottom. Sorry, it is as large as I can make it. I know a few of you have been saying you want it larger, but I should be hitting approximately 587,778 damage on armored crit. However, if I shoot this chunga, I'm hitting 655,399. What's going on there? Well, it's actually quite simple. If I remove damage to armor from the calculations and put in my 26% damage to health, which is on AMP2, magically the damage number we were hitting spontaneously pops out. Just so we can do a direct comparison, damage to armor is at the top, damage to health is at the bottom. You will see the numbers fluctuate between these 2 points. They will of course go below because I'm wearing vigilance. If you see my damage drop below any of these for any reason, it will be because vigilance is no longer procced, although I think I do a pretty good job of keeping it up, just so that it makes a better visual test. So here we have enemies popping out between health and armor, as well as the fact that I'm shooting them to deplete the armor, and you should see those numbers fluctuate quite dramatically. I've added in non-crits on body crits, head non-crits, and head crits, so you should see at least a good range of damage, which will also highlight the difference between damage to health and damage to armor. Simple point of this is they cannot occupy the same space. You are either hitting armor or you are hitting health. You cannot be doing damage to both armor and health simultaneously. You literally have one or the other. So here we have my Ravenous build. I have a lovely Hollow Man for the 10% damage to health, Memento, 3-piece Walker Harris, and Fox's Prayer. I have 5% damage to armor, 15% damage to health, and about 300% amplified damage to armor plating. Now, this is where Ravenous actually gets interesting, because not a lot of people realise what armor plating actually is. Well, it's quite simple. It's anything that you shoot where you see a shield icon flash. That's it. That's the secret. Anytime you shoot something and you see a shield icon flash, this can be shields. Literally like ballistic shields. True Sons, the LMG gunners, their helmets, armor plating. Hyenas, the rushers, their helmet, armor plating. Chungas, armor plating. Right, and yet again, we're just going to try and blitz through these guys in an attempt to get to the actual point. I've only sped up the footage so you can see that I'm not changing anything. I'm not going to do like a cut and then reintroduce whatever. Just going to speed up the footage, and we're going to wait for the named elite chunga. Here he comes. Right, named elite chunga. I'm going to swap to Ravenous. We're going to put our left primers on him. Hopefully we can stay alive. No, we can't. This is the blight of testing things. You end up having a singular focus, and you don't look at the enemy that's down by the crane on my left, who is currently shooting in the ass. Anyway, we've got full stack of left primers on him now. The moment we activate the left primers, which is swapping to the right, as well as giving us the blue armor bar, you will see a huge difference in damage. See it? 1.4 mils. We went from doing about 4 to 500k to 1.4 mil. Now we're able to ascertain a certain distinction between armour and armour plating for the simple fact that the left hand primers work on Chungas, but they don't work on these guys. There have been several times throughout this little interaction I've had here where I've had the armour proc from Ravenous to allow me to do amplified damage to armour plating, though I am not getting the damage amplifier, so it's not working on armour, only armour plating. This can be further shown by just running around like a lunatic and just doing some really base, simple tests. Up ahead, we have a True Sons LMG gunner. We're just going to try and get him to lay down so it's easier for me, in particular, to hit him in the head. So we're going to do some left stack triggers. They are massive damage increase immediately. And then, lucky for us, as we turn around and take a few more steps, we get, surprise, surprise, one of those sexy, sexy thick boys. Now, sadly, my damage numbers glitch out, so you're going to have to keep an eye on the scrolling damage numbers on the left-hand side. As you can see, I've already jumped up to like 1.5 mil. And he's also got a grenade launcher, which means the test I wanted to do of trying to break his armor individually so you could see the damage creep up every time is out the window, and now he just has to die. Yeah. Now I have swapped characters because one of the easiest tests to do for this is just either an elite convoy or an elite territory control. Sorry, not an elite convoy, an elite patrol or an elite territory control, simply because they will always have a Chunga present. Whether it be as a random spawn or the boss at the end, it doesn't matter. There's always a Chunga for us to test on. And on my other character, apparently just none were spawning, so I've swapped characters because there's always at least one elite patrol at a certain location. This is a slightly different build, so I'm just going to go bully these guys down here just to try and get a test on them. And lucky for me, there was a True Sons LMG guy that likes laying down and shooting stuff. There he is right there. Unlucky for me, the bastard decided to hide behind some bulletproof plants. Well, bulletproof for me, not for him. So yeah, the test didn't go as well as I wanted, but again, we're just going to do some damage testing on armor versus armor plating versus health, while trying not to get chewed up by an LMG gunner. Now, annoyingly, due to just pure oversight, I am running Perfect Optimist, Shield Splinterer on this character. That is at plus 20, which does make trying to track your exact damage very, very difficult, just because Optimist is known for being a bit of a nightmare, simply because it stacks per bullet. There's that lovely bleed we all know and love. So yeah, this LMG gunner now needs to die as well. However, I have ascertained, I'm using that word a lot today, ascertained, British has got the word ass in it, I like bum, that my Shield Splinterer, sorry, my Shield Splinterer is hitting between high 600,000 to low 700,000 at the bottom end of Optimist, to the high 700,000 just peeking into the 800,000 with Optimist at max. Problem is I reload too much. So we're now going to go back to my lovely favourite testing ground, which is the Elite Territory Control, held by Black Tusk. I don't even know where this is. It's just somewhere I repeatedly go to testings because it's a really good area. And again, we're just going to kill these guys just to recheck our numbers. Out of optimal range, we're hitting into the 450s, just below 450 out of optimal range. So what we're hopefully going to be testing here is one, because I have no damage to armor on this build, it's 3-piece Providence Defense, Grupo, Dodge City Holster, and Fox's Prayer. I have no damage to armor, which means if I see a damage jump from armor to health. The only thing it could potentially be is the simple fact that I have damage to health on the AR. If I see a damage difference between shooting an elite like him with armor to shooting a chunga, the only thing it can be, because the only other multiplier that isn't accounted for, is the damage to health on the AR, which is yet further proof that chungas are health damage. We're then going to check the damage difference that Ravenous has. So Master Warhound, there is one guy still left alive over here. We're just going to pop this Warhound. And there is one guy left. Hopefully we can goat him over. There he comes. So we're just going to swap back to our AR. And we're hitting, sadly, Vigilance left. So I want Vigilance back up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Get some armor on the go as well. Alright. So we were hitting 553,000 on his armor, and that jumped up to 700,000. Sadly, Optimus skews it again. It was about 720-ish thousand. Already we're hitting 690. There's 700. Again, Perfect Optimist is going to skew this a bit, but we're hitting around 700,000. He's just outside of optimal range. So we know now that it's damage to health that is applying to these guys. So what we're going to do now is try and utilize Ravenous without losing our vigilance. So I'm just going to play the coward's game and hide in cover and try and shoot him. 2.2 mil armor plating. So Ravenous from left to right, utilizing the defensive primers, armor plating. As you can see as well, while shooting him, you should be able to see that shield icon flashing. I'll zoom in a bit, see that shield icon. That quite simply means armor plating. That's it. That's the big secret that no one ever talks about. The larger you see those spreads crack, that means the closer you are to actually cracking him. And when he does crack, there will be an individual icon for that as well. It sort of has like a red-ish outline. I'm colorblind, I can't quite tell. So, 100% now. Chungas, Warhounds, well, anything armor plating, which has that shield icon when you shoot them, is damage to health. 2, the defensive primers for the amplified damage to armor plating only works on those enemies. It will not take effect to armor. For the defensive primers, the amplified damage is only available while you have the bonus armor. Other sources of bonus armor are immaterial to Ravenous. Although it will help you stay alive, it will not apply the amplified damage. In order to get the amplified damage from the defensive primers, you have to have them stacked from Ravenous. Now, another thing I want to go through here is I'm hoping it will show on the left-hand side clearly enough, is the utilization of the offensive primers, which are those explosions. A lot of people say this is inconsistent. This is kind of true, but kind of not. They will be applied depending on your crit rate, which is going to sound crazy. Essentially, you will have 10 primers. The game will then roll a dice between 0 and 10. Quite simply, it is not one explosion. It's 10 separate explosions. Every single one of those explosions has a chance to crit. So if none of them crit, you get your bottom end damage. If 10 of them crit, you get your top end damage. Fill the gap in between. From here, I want to go over stacking. Okay, when you have no marks on the enemy, no primers, in order to hit your maximum marks, you need 5 shots. However, when you swap shoulders to fire, assuming both bullets hit, because you're firing 2 bullets at once, one of those bullets will detonate and activate the primers. The other one will apply the primer itself. So, your initial shot will be 5. When you swap shoulders, you now need to do 6 shots to hit your maximum. These explosions also weirdly do not take effect from damage to targets out of cover. So, I mean, that means they're always pretty much at maximum potential. Anyway, I hope this has explained Ravenous a bit more in detail. I do hope it's helped out. Have fun, good luck, don't die. It's bad for the health.